Okay, little update. Day 44 of no flour, no sugar. And I am, huh, I'm struggling, man. In some aspects, I'm doing really well. I just hopped on a scale. I usually weigh myself once a week on Sundays, just as a check-in, so I can see what that week, I can sort of quantify the week and see like what I did that week that might be helpful or different, or just I think it's an easier metric. But I was at the doctor and I passed the super fancy scale and I hopped on and I'm 352. When I started, I actually used that same scale. When I first weighed in, I was 392. So 40 pounds in 44 days. That's great, right? Yes. I'm happy. I do feel it. My clothes fit a little better. Moving is a little bit easier. But I said this from the beginning. This is not about losing weight. It's about getting right with my behavior and getting right with my relationship with food. And the weight loss I've always looked at as a consequence of that reconciliation, of getting right. So in addition to trying to get right with food, I've just been trying to be gentle with everything in my life. I quit drinking. Drinking was never really a problem. But now that I took drinking out of the equation, I see how under stress, I'll start craving carbs, flour, sugar, pizza, fast food, highly palatable food. And then I'll get a wave of alcohol. And then I'll get a wave of sex. I'll get a wave of social media, mindlessness. All these ways of like numbing the feeling instead of feeling it. And I've been doing a lot of somatic processing. Not as much as is really being asked of me, but I'm way more than I've ever done. So that's good. And the thing with this business with food is once I peel away that layer, what I found underneath it is just all this fucking anger. I have been so angry. I've been so fast to judgment. I've been I've been quicker to get into little fucking bullshit on the internet, which is like something I haven't done. I'm like really good about not doing that shit. It's been a really long time. Like I said, judging people and just being kind of a dick. And this is not easy to admit to. But now that I've removed the food and I'm kind of like not letting myself reach out for any kind of partying or any kind of dissociative action, companionship that is a distraction, any kind of distraction really. I'm trying to just like be with these urges and understand them. Why do I really want to eat right now? Why am I suddenly scrolling through porn? Why am I suddenly craving tequila, which is like so low on the things that I reach for, temptation, all this stuff. So yeah, I've been losing weight and I've been feeling good. But this whole thing reminds me that like how fucked up I am, because I don't like how I feel when I start judging people and being angry at people, and getting impatient and being short-tempered. I don't like being that guy. So that's the thing that I'm trying to cover up. But it gets even deeper than that, because the anger is not even real anger. The anger is so accessible. Follow me here. The anger is what's there after I go food, sex, alcohol, content, mindless content, scrolling, mindless podcasting, distractions. Once I get through those layers of my own planetary crust, I get into the anger, which is really another distraction from this much deeper sadness. And that's really scary, because the sadness is the thing that I'm really afraid to feel. The anger I don't like to feel, because I become identified with that, and I like to be thought of as a nice person. I like to be in good spirits. I don't like it, but I'm not afraid to feel it. The sadness I'm afraid of. So these last couple of weeks since doing this work, I've been really good with, the weight loss itself is directly related to quitting flour, sugar, processed foods 44 days ago, because that's been the most consistent thing. Bright line eating, I did that for 16 days and I fell off the wagon. I stopped measuring my food. I have been binging like almost every night. And when I say binging, I just mean like waking up in the middle of the night and eating. And it's not because I'm not eating enough throughout the day. I am. I appreciate those of you that have said that. But trust me, I'm eating enough. I'm weighing some of my food, not all of it. And I'm not sticking to any of my meal plans. And I'm not sticking to any of my intermittent fasting promises that I just set down myself. Nobody's asking me to do this. Nobody's asking me to do anything. I'm asking me to do this. So I want to be free. So I want to live. So I've betrayed all these promises to myself, except for no flour, no sugar, no processed foods. So when I say I'm binging on, meal prep is dangerous, because when you're a fucking food addict and there's 5 pounds of grilled chicken sitting in the fridge, you start slapping that shit into some pesto sauce, and that's a 3 a.m. snack. Yeah. Feta cheese by the handfuls. I still have a problem. But I'm not filling my body with chemicals the way I was, and I'm not spiking my blood sugar the way I was, and this apparently is being appreciated by the body, because I'm still averaging, I guess around a pound a day, 40 pounds in 44 days. And it makes me think of how much that would be accelerated if I was really focused, and if I was introducing exercise a little bit more, and if I was actually weighing my food and was doing more of this work. But it's fine. I'm not obsessed with the number on the scale. What I think is interesting is that even through all of this, it's almost like this unconscious consciousness. It's like no flour, no sugar. I'm being conscious about that, but I'm no fast food. It's been like 50 days since fast food. It's been like 50 days since alcohol. But I have been, my level of dissociative behavior in the phone, just scrolling, has spiked. Porn. It's a little embarrassing to talk about some of this, but I think it's important, because I think I'm not the only one that's experiencing this, so I just want to talk about it. So the last few weeks, although I've been really unconscious and have fallen back into many dissociative patterns, the weight loss is continuing because of this new background programming that's just like no flour, no sugar. It shows me like how devastating that was to my body. And you know what? That's not so hard. I don't get those cravings too often. I almost went being in town or being out around, I live kind of just away from everything. So getting into town and being around people and being like in social gatherings, that really triggers me. But it hasn't been too hard because I've been keeping myself stocked with good food. What's been hard is making these commitments to stick to fasting, to stick to the mindfulness practice of eating. I slipped back into watching media while eating again, which was something that I was doing for almost a full month, just eating alone. And I've been super stressed. It's been fucking over 100 degrees. It's been really hot. I don't have air conditioning. It's been impossible to sleep, so I've been sleep deprived. It's been hot, and I don't mean to just come on here and complain, but I'm trying to just give the data. I've been very stressed, so I haven't really been able to, and like my home base is not safe and comfortable. It's fucking hot, and I can't, I have no electric. I'm trying to figure out an electric situation at my spot. So I'm struggling with a lot of this like stuff at home base, which is historically a trigger for me going back to being a kid. Like my home base was always fucked up, and now it's up to me to make my home base. So there's something definitely there. So that's it. This is the check-in. 44 days, 40 pounds down, super high stress, dissociative behaviors creeping back in, but staying true to no flour, no sugar, and looking to get back into bright line eating soon. That's it. Peace.